Get ready. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. Start. Madam, I beg to move that the bill to prevent the commission of offences of atrocities against the members of the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes to provide for special courts for the trial of such offences and for the relief and rehabilitation of the victims of such offences and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto as passed by the Lok Sabha be taken into consideration. This House is aware of the deep concern that our Prime Minister and our government have for the welfare of the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes. Many new initiatives have been taken, particularly in the last few years, to improve the lot of the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes. Since we got independence, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and then Miss Indira Gandhi and now our Prime Minister have been trying to improve the economic and social conditions of the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes. In trying to discharge a mandate of the Constitution, poverty alleviation programs which provide special attention to the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes have been expanded and intensified. First, the IRDP and other programs were improved considerably, and now these have been replaced a bigger scheme of the Jawahar Rojgar Yojana. Drinking water wells and irrigation wells have been provided for this group. The needs of housing have been met by the Indira Awas Yojana. The program for the liberation of scavengers has been given a great impetus. The education of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, which is of crucial importance to their growth and development, has received much greater attention. The number of students studying beyond the matriculation stage has gone up to 13 lakhs. Coaching centers have been increased. A special drive is currently on for filling up the backlog which had arisen as a result of non-fulfillment of reserved seats for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. And that drive is continuing. Efforts are also being made to free them from bonded labor and to find land for cultivation. As you all know, among the landless laborers, about 48% are from the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes. We are witnessing today the sign of fruits of development reaching the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes. With greater spread of education and with the socio-economic conditions improving, the relations in the society sometimes come under tension. Madam, previously also the Government of India has tried to remove untouchability. Under the Constitution, we have abolished untouchability. But to remove it completely from the society, in 1955, the Protection of Civil Rights Act was passed, and again, to give it more teeth, some more clauses were added to it in 1976. Now, we find that is not enough. This act was passed specifically for the removal of untouchability and against those who are practicing untouchability. The bill which I am bringing here is especially against atrocities. For the first time, we have defined atrocities in this bill. We have said that the atrocities shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 6 months, but which may be extended to 5 years with fine. We know that most of the atrocities are because of land. They insist on their minimum wages, which they are denied. When they insist on the minimum wages, then these powerful people who engage them torture them and inflict atrocities on them. Now we are witnessing today the signs of fruits of development reaching the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes. With greater spread of education and improvement in the socio-economic conditions, the relations in society sometimes come under tension as a result of this change. Higher caste groups sometimes do not like the change in the socio-economic structure and tensions develop. The demand for justice, for equality, for a human living, for knowledge, for education, and freedom leads, in some cases, to retaliation by groups who are not enlightened enough to recognize the healthy signs of growth. We can say that these are especially in the rural India and the Hindu society. In such a situation, atrocities or a variety of offences are committed on members of the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes. I have had occasion to tell this House regarding the recent trend, the increase of such offences against members of the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes, because often the question is asked in the House. The nature of these offences in many states indicated that these were not isolated instances but represented a trend in the country. In cities, towns, and the areas where the society was generally aware of the need to bring about such changes, the upward socio-economic mobility of the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes was accepted and tension did not arise. But in the countryside, in the rural India, tension exists still. But in criteria rural areas, tradition is difficult to be dislodged, and from state to state it differs.